Okay, I'm back inside the new shop. Hopefully, I'll get a few people in here in a few seconds. Let me set this up here. The best angle I can for that. Signing on just a second or two early. All right, a few popping in. Yeah, I hope we can. Hey, Greg, how are you this morning? Hey, Chris. I've been missing you a good bit, Chris. Hey, Ponka, how are you? Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. I hope I'm inside my new shop here. Of course, you see there's no trucks behind me right now. We got all the trucks out that we had up here. Usually we're doing clutch and transmission work up here because we've got our sterile Coney lift, and we jump in there and let me move this camera around a little bit. We jump in there and try to work on that. You missed the nighttime stream. Yeah. I was streaming the other night from the Napa store. You probably missed that. I noticed that. Yeah, I said happy birthday to you. Made the big 3-0, did you, Chris? Getting to be an old man now. 3-0. You're not a 20-year-old anymore. Yeah, so you're jumping into the old man age. Like to be 3-0 again myself. In a way, I like my age, like where I'm at with my experience and everything else. Yeah, he's old. Hey, Walter, how are you? So you made it to 40 this year, did you? Well, see, I'll be making it to the old man age in about a year and a half. So hopefully I can hang in there for a few more years. Yeah, you get up to my age and you get a couple of extra chins and a few more wrinkles, a little more gray hair, and a few things like that. Yeah, it's different. Is the signal and everything good coming? I'm up here at this shop and we got a good repeater up here at the shop. I hope the signal's good. I hope everything. Yeah, I wish I was in my 50s. Crystal clear. Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah. I wish I was in my 50s and at least, but no, I'm not even in my 50s. Yeah. Everything's good. Good. Yeah, I'm using this new camera. I've got another camera. I ordered another Logitech camera. I'm gonna try it out too. It does some green screen and a few other things, and hopefully I can. I'm trying to little by little enhance my ability to bring some good video. Yeah, you can be like Jack Benny, the old comedian. You probably don't remember him, but he used to say he was 39. So that's sort of me. I'm gonna be 39 for a long time. I wish, in some ways I wish I could be that way, but in some ways it's funny how life works. You get comfortable with the age that you are. Every age that you get to, I think. I mean, I was comfortable in my 30s. I was comfortable in my 40s, 50s, 60s. Hadn't hit the 70s yet, but hopefully I'll be comfortable there too. The only thing is the downfall is the fact that your body does start breaking down on you a little bit. My knees aren't as strong as they used to be. I'm having a few issues with some strong knees. I used to wonder why everybody used to grab everything to pick themselves up with. I mean, I used to be just to bounce off things, and I used to jump off trucks all the time. I understand why now. the body does start breaking down, and you can't do much about it. It just breaks down. Yeah. Well, you're not even in your 20s anymore, Chris. So that you get used to those 30s. Yeah, get used to those 30s. That it, you know, uh, yeah, yeah. He's 39 again, is he? Well, fortunately for me, I've not had any heart problems. I haven't had any issues with anything like that. So I feel very fortunate that I'm not uh, in that kind of shape. You as you get older, you got to watch your weight, in which I'm not a good example of that either. I'm overweight from what I used to be for what my size. But if you try to live healthy, the main things that tear people down is smoking, drinking, and just too wild of a life like that. I mean, smoking, especially smoking or vaping. The people now are trying to vape and different things like that, and I don't understand that, because vaping, as you look at people vaping, they're blowing out so much vapor and smoke and everything else out of their lungs. I mean, it's only common sense that that's got to be a killer. And anytime you take anything within your lungs, and your lungs are, that's your filter system. That's like, you take a car or a big truck and you put a new air filter in it. That is your lungs or your air filter. Now, if you're going to stop them up and get them so corroded and everything else with garbage and everything, you're going to have problems. I mean, anybody knows, you can look at the mechanical end of things and say, here's a truck. Why is this truck not performing good? Well, you've got the air filters completely stopped up. You got all the carbon, the dust, any kind of particulate going into that filter. And if that fuel system cannot breathe, it's not going to perform. The body is the exact same way. The body, and you don't get to change out your lungs. Your lungs are a self-cleaning item in your body. But if you overwork and put too many pollutants in your lungs, think about it. The body's going to be able, it's going to reject things, and they're not going to work proper. I mean, your lungs are part of keeping your blood system straight. Everything works good off your lungs. So if you don't have good lungs, you're going to be a sick person. And to me, a lot of people say, "Oh, I like to smoke," and everything else. That's fine if you like to, but just understand what you're doing to your system. So that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. I just well, hey Ralph, I hadn't seen you in here. Yeah, I hope you can enjoy our chats this morning. I've got to. I'm going to be running a fairly short chat, probably 30 to 40 minutes this morning, because I'm headed to Savannah, Georgia. I've got to go down there. I've got 2 drivers that we're putting on in Savannah. I've been talking about needing drivers, and we have hired 2 drivers for the Savannah, Georgia area. We're expanding down there, so we're adding some more trucks and getting a few more extra board runs. So we're trying to expand down there and be able to increase productivity in our Savannah area. So I'll be leaving. That's why I'll be leaving a little bit early today, and so I'm gonna try to get as much in with the podcast as I can here, or the vlog. I never understand exactly which way to label what we do. Of course, some people just call it a vlog, a video log, or a podcast. We're not doing just podcasting, because we're not doing just the audio portion of it. And I'm just doing a live video log, I guess, or a vlog. All kind of terminology that you get when you get into the new world with stuff. Yeah, Mr. Michael's live stream. That's what it is. Yeah. And I hope y'all enjoy what we do and what I try to say and what I try to bring forth into the trucking world, the tool world, and things like that. I try to be informative. You know, we have a lot of things that we do within our business. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess I'm doing Sunday morning church here with Mike. Yeah, I'll preach a little bit. I'll preach a little bit here, not so much on the values of what you should do. I do like to associate with people that have a decency about themselves and know what they want to do in life. So in that case, I am sort of preaching to the choir or preaching to the masses a little bit. And it's a meeting with the good old boys, like Ponco was saying, and we I feel like that we can chat among ourselves and kind of get things off our chest and talk about what we like in life. I mean, I'm doing, fortunately for me at my age, I'm doing what I want to do. A lot of guys that are my age are laid back and doing nothing, and I don't want to be that way. I mean, retirement for me is sort of never in the picture. I don't want to retire. I may want to change my lifestyle a little bit, but I don't want to retire and sit down and do nothing. I'm going to try to stay busy and be active with everything that I do. And we do. We do exactly like what Chris is saying. You learn from everybody that you're online with and you chat with. And I try to bring forth what I know and what I can help with the situation if it's possible. I mean, people can take what I say for granted or they can take it to heart, and I'll try to explain things that I do, and if they like it, fine. If they don't, fine. In other words, that's the beauty of having different channels, is the fact that we can talk about different issues, and hopefully we can help each other. I mean, and I like to look at everybody else's videos too. I like to. Chris and we communicate a good bit. I watch Chris's videos. He's always project on different cars and trucks and barns and houses. And Chris is a very I'm gonna say this. Chris is a very well educated young man by the world. He's learning the world things more so than some of these people that have gone out and gotten college educations. He's got his own Harvard degree of real life, and that means a lot. And I think those things are better for a lot of people than if he'd gone to Yale or Harvard and been inundated with a lot of crazy things that other people think that it's the way the world works. I mean, the world works as how you want it to work. I mean, Chris, I like watching. I tell him I get fatherly sometimes, I guess, with Chris and Ricky and those boys. I said, be careful out there because I've seen the mistakes. I've seen things happen. Uh, they push it to the limit sometimes, but that's their prerogative. They're young and they can physically do that. I'm a person that's gotten hurt physically, and uh, you know, I like to see people be safe. I mean, it's tough sometimes. I mean, you get out and you do things, and I've got some videos coming up if I can ever get the time to put them out. I've got one with my traco that I'm mowing around my pond and everything, and that can be dangerous because I've got a bush hog that extends past the traco and the sheer weight differential, and you don't realize it when you extend a bush hog out over uh, pretty far, and it's at an angle anyway because it's on a bank of a pond. It can be kind of iffy, and I do not want to throw myself in the pond and try to repair a traco that's been flipped over in a pond or get it out of the pond too. So I have to be very careful there. Yeah, it's well, hey, Bama Mudmore. How are you? Oh, Doug. Okay, so that you changed your name on yours to Bama Mudmore. I was wondering about that. I was looking at that. I hadn't seen that name. I always just saw it as Doug Sweener. Yeah. How is it down there around Talladega? They had the big race down there the other week, didn't they? I don't know if you got out to the racetrack. My buddy Landon, his team was doing great for a while, and then they got knocked out right there at the end. That sort of did their season in too, because they couldn't recoup last week. They didn't make the cut line this past week, so now they're out of the chase. They didn't make it to the top 8, but they'll be in there digging away today, just trying to see how good they can do. Landon didn't have to leave out until this morning since Martinsville is so close to Charlotte. He and I were talking yesterday. Raining too much. Yeah, we're finally getting some rain up here. That's a good thing. We have been dry as a bone, and my pond had gotten really, really low. No, Landon is with the his sponsorship changes from week to week. He's the 24 car. He is he's teammates with the Napa car, and he's teammates with he works for Hendrick Motorsports. They got the 24 car, the 48 car, the 88 car, and the 9 car. I think the only one that transferred over to Martinsville is the 9 car. The Napa car is the only one with Chase Elliott's the only one I think that's transferred. But Landon and his team barely got knocked out. Of course, that's all that matters. Just you're either in or you're out. And I don't think the 88 transferred either. The 88, the 9, and the 24 were still in the race up until last week. And I think the 88 and the 24 both got knocked out. I think the 88 possibly might be in. I don't know. Yeah, I like watching NASCAR. My schedule is I watch football. I like college football because it doesn't have. I don't know. There's enough there's enough difference in the talent that an outstanding talent would really show out. And professional, it's almost like two people is going to head banging, and there's not as much. I don't know how to explain it. It's just not as much excitement for the players for me. And I guess because so many of these guys are making millions of dollars and, just taking their, where they're turning into, I'm going to call them idiots like what we got in Charlotte down there, Cam Newton. Since Jerry Richardson lost that team and had to sell out to that other guy, that David Tepper or whatever, Cam Newton has gone off the rails right now. He looks as weird as he can look, and I don't think his career is ever going to be as good as it was. But yeah, roll tide. Yeah, the tide definitely is rolling. That's for sure. Yeah, the tide. I watched some of that last night. I was flipping between Bama and Clemson and Notre Dame game, and then I watched the LSU Auburn game too. The Southeast Conference has always got some. Boy, I mean, I love the ACC too, but ACC Conference is not as strong as a whole as SEC, and SEC has got to be the most entertaining conference, I think, in football. Yeah, LSU and Alabama game is going to. I think that's in 2 weeks. I think that's what they're saying. I don't know if Alabama's number one quarterback is going to be back as healthy as he should, but hey, the guy with almost my name last night, Mark Jones, or Mac, no, not Mark, Mac Jones for Alabama did a pretty good job. And then Tula, his youngest brother, got in there too. He's got a younger brother that's a freshman, that's a true freshman. He's not as big as his older brother, but I think he's going to be impressive one of these days too. He'll be vying for the number one spot one of these first days. Yeah, I mean, I agree with Chris Ponca. Upload anything. I mean, you don't know what's worth uploading until you upload it. And I didn't. A year or two ago when I first started doing this, I go, well, would anybody find myself interesting? And I started uploading things and started doing chats and getting on some chat rooms that I liked. And bam, here I am working away and doing this. Yeah, everybody's got a story to tell. That's my opinion. Now, whether or not we like it or not, that's every individual's prerogative. But everybody has a story to tell, and hopefully, the variety is the spice of life, as they say. I watch my YouTube videos and things like that way more than I do normal TV. I mean, I don't need normal TV as much as I used to because I don't see the variety in it. I mean, think about it. You got these same shows, these cookie cutter shows that Hollywood tries to produce, and they try to put their narrative out there of how they want the world to perceive things, and I don't perceive that the way that they do. I mean, I'm not going to. I don't have the morals that Hollywood has. I don't have, normal things are normal things for me. I don't think I want some of these initials and everything else pushed down my throat right now. I mean, I'm all for equal rights for everybody, but I don't think that we ought to have the LGBTQ MOUSE crowd saying, telling me how to live my life. I don't feel like that is the way that I should be treated. I mean, I'll treat them equal, but the scales have tipped. The scales have tipped to favor people with a very narrow narrative, and I just don't feel like that I should have to. I mean, I'm not trying to. I mean, I know gay people. I know uh, the well, I don't know any trans, but I know there are people out there with the different aspects in life. But they can live their life without telling me how to live my life. I feel like that's the way life should be. Be equal to somebody, but you don't have to push your lifestyle on me. I mean, you can explain your lifestyle. You can tell me what you think about your lifestyle, but don't say that I have to live my life the way you're living your life. I mean, that's the where the equality should come in. I'm all for that, but the tipping point we have right now is that we have turned it around and we're trying to say this is more normal than what we know is not. I mean, I'm very upset with these trans athletes, these young athletes, getting to go over into the girls' sports and dominating the girls' sports, and women should be outraged at this point. I mean, women and young girls and mothers and fathers should be outraged that they're letting that happen. I mean, that is not normal. If you do not have if you got XX chromosomes or XY chromosomes, that's what God made you. Now, some people don't want to think that way, but that's the way I think. Yeah, and I agree with you, Chris. I think some of these shows are spreading more hate than they are doing anybody good. Now, people say, "Oh, you want to push us back in a closet." I'm not trying to push anybody back into a closet. I just don't want you pushing us into a closet. I don't want you pushing us into a corner and saying that this is the way of life and you're going to adhere to my way of life. No, that's not the way it is. I don't think that's the way it is. Yes, and I believe that wholeheartedly too. I just think that the the families that are single families, when it's just a mother raising boys, it can be a very upsetting thing. Just like the case, I know some of y'all may, or most of y'all probably have seen the case in Texas where a little 7-year-old boy, his mother, who is a doctor and everything, wants to transition that little boy over to being a female, and him 7 years old. His father is all upset about it, and rightfully so. And then the crazy court agreed with the mother, which is so bizarre. I mean, I do not understand how a court system can say, yes, you can take a 7-year-old and make him take his puberty away from him and his life, make it life altering for him at 7 years old and transition him into being a female. It just is so bizarre. Yeah, last man standing. I think that's that's about the truth of the world right there. Is we're going to be the last men standing out there because of the fact. Yeah. All right, Greg. Well, you have a good time at Home Depot and everything. Yeah, I've got to get up to Home Depot myself and get a few items one of these first days. I like Home Depot. Of course, anybody that comes in my shop will know that I've got about 10 or 12 of the Husky boxes in here uh, that I got. They had them on sale one year, and I picked them up at a song. I thought I picked up these big boxes for practically nothing. They had reduced them way down, and I bought 12 of them, I think, at one time because they had gotten them down to like $4.98, I believe it is. And then I had some other discounts and everything else. So I have about $400 a box in them, or 450, something like that. And I bought 12 of them. So we have plenty of these big Husky, double decker boxes and everything. So I mean, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll show you as we're talking about that. I'll spin it around. Hopefully the camera won't be too. I mean, okay, there's a couple of them. I have one back there in the corner. Because there's my Mustang, or my wife's Mustang. Of course, there's another Husky box there. And let's see, let me camera around here a little bit without getting tangled up in my wire. And you see more Husky boxes, and then some more boxes on down there in my tractor. And on way on down in there, you see some more Husky boxes and a few things like that. So that's Home Depot has made a few dollars off of me. Yeah, there's the old Stang. Let me get my camera situated back on here again. Yeah, the old Mustang there. Well, guys, it's 9:27. I'm gonna have to get out of here myself because I promised the wife I wouldn't make the cast too long today. I've got to, like I said, head on down to Savannah. So y'all wish me a healthy ride down to Savannah, and I'll see y'all next week. I may jump in there a couple times this week also, and I've got some videos. Watch for some videos that I'm gonna be doing. I've got them, just producing them and getting them uploaded is the thing. All right, y'all take care, and I'll see you around.